It's not a round that they should have had much contest in. They very nearly dropped Chronicle. I don't think it's the end of the world, but this next one, this is going to be telling. We need to see them get off to a flying start, do some damage, win the round for sure.
So this defense has to be solid, because whenever they've done even reasonably well on this map, it has been a defensive-sided half that has done it for RRQ. So that'll be the focus. And this is where they now have the weaponry to play with Chronicle. Even after a pretty stellar early start to this game, he's going to be left down to just a Stinger, and Jemkin, well, he's going to be able to escape and have his teammate double up onto Alfia. A great start for this round.
Yeah, not bad at all. Exactly what we needed to see. Fnatic being put in their place early on with that advantage that RRQ are bringing to bear. And as you said, with the defensive side expectations we had. Rifles are left though, 3 of them with an upgrade that's being brought through. Naked from a corpse, they'll move towards this A side, but plenty of numbers here for RRQ. Full utility online towards this side, and 40 seconds on the clock. Time to make a decision, and it looks like they might be making the right read.
The thing is, that was their own thorns. It felt like Crashies wanted to push forward.
30 seconds left.
But his own team's thorns have blocked him out from doing so. Fnatic like to run the clock low, but I wonder if this is just turning into a save. 20 seconds left on the clock, the spike pushing forward, but everybody else still with so much space to take. Boaster down.
15.
And yeah, this has to be a save now, but it still seemed like, at least up until Boaster went down, they were still challenging for this round. RRQ with a chance to keep this one nice and clean, and the only thing is, because it's their first round victory, I don't expect them to hunt too much for these remaining guns.
Yeah, no, it's definitely worthwhile just hanging on to what they've got. Even that one Guardian they've now got left with the upgrade for Crazy Guy. Cushy will just carry it forward. Hey, listen, that is a godsend of a round for RRQ. Great early fights, already showing dominance over that mid control, and the patience on display late. That's what Fnatic were trying to force out of them, was a little bit of an overextension. Someone playing too aggro, someone giving the chance for this squad to find a weakness, find a site to push into, but it wasn't given away. The discipline on display gives us a 2-1 scoreline. The full buy back in for Fnatic, ult's close to being online.
That was just a bonus, so even the couple of guns saved and a little bit extra is going to put them into a good position. Rez already online, so they can now be a little bit riskier. Saying that, the shock dart that's been sent through early from Cushy has done a lot of damage. I imagine the heal has already been administered, so Chronicle will at least be back to 100. Again, ground to a halt. This defensive setup is incredibly passive. They're not trying to give any of those openers on the other side, and because of that, with somewhat a lack of initiation at times, Fnatic are just having to contact into this one.
Straight through the side for utility, they will go. That's the problem. A lot of reactive util in play for RRQ. The salvo coming in from Crazy Guy still has one left to play with. Reveal comes in. The spams can now fire right back through. Very oppressive in terms of the util, the positions that RRQ are playing in as well. It's making it a bit of a headache for Fnatic. And with that extra time bought, rotation through from Jemkin, mid fully secured, and Fnatic are going to go for this late control. Alfia wants to push deep into the spawn. He's got a guy on the rotate, trying to cut it off, and he'll grab one. That's the res online, but Crashy's double, and Boaster clearing out the rest of the site. What was a very labored round in terms of the time being bled out of Fnatic's clock has ended up being a huge success for them.
Yeah, no, just their entries into that B site were sublime. 2 players at the back of the site being picked off in rapid succession alongside the rotations being cut off. I was a little bit nervous because you have Alpha with the res, and then he's taking a solo fight alone on the other side of the map, but it's clear that the other players are ones with utility. They're actually going to be able to put you into place, so you can't really afford to leave anyone else behind. For Munya, there's not really much of a choice. Just try and hold on to the gun. They managed to keep all 5 players alive in the previous round, so there's definitely going to be a purchase up for RRQ, but it's one where you kind of watch this round and go, it's difficult to say what they could really change, because they had their players in the right place at the right time. It just seemed like they lost every single fight.
Well, that's it, right? Obviously, we're on board with Alpha for this cross kill, but It's on the site when Crashes is able to find a double in quick succession. Those players on Boathouse trying to trade out while Boaster lurks in the smoke.
Very good discipline right now, I love to see
They had the rotates, they had Jemkin close by to support the site. They had the smoke to cover their cross in, or so they thought, but weren't expecting Boaster to be there. And well, that's a very early upset for RRQ, but the reality is they still have the money. Jemkin's come in, operator in hand. This is the benefit from having such a clean previous round, but that position from Boaster, it's sneaky. If Jemkin steps back out, if Cushy tries to cross the market, they could be caught off here.
Now has the idea that there's a player in position. Jemkin's gate crash is about to run out, but just at the last second he's able to catch that kill. Boaster not being able to spot the player further, but that will be an immediate, wonderful usage of the salvos though. That would be the pick-off of Kayak for the second time this round. His KD taking a beating. And so are Fnatic in the early stages. They need a response, and then, well, Jemkin's operator has just been a game changer. From an almost clean round for Fnatic, it's looking like we might get one in response.
Yeah, I love this from RRQ. The salvos there onto the raider. It's not just the utility in play, the weaponry too. The way they're controlling this map, very nice. And I'm curious to see what Fnatic's adaptation will be, because after that previous round victory, they've still got money. They'll be able to invest here, and I think it will just be this back and forth with these clean rounds being traded, if that continues, until we finally see someone's economy being broken.
Well, it feels like we're playing the slowest game of all time right now.
Fnatic attack side on Ascent. Yes.
We've also just had like late round saves each time, so it's been like almost a burst of an explosive fight, but even trying to use the heal. And actually, Althea goes down because he's trying to use the heal while running away. Like, that is so unfortunate, but also just wonderfully placed utility for the side of RRQ. They're definitely a squad that seem to be improving day by day, game by game. Showed massive resilience in their victory to get into that top two. Well, those first few rounds definitely haven't fazed them.
A flash, nicely done. Jemkin not able to hit the shot on the jumping Kayak. And it will be a 5 versus 4 with the big player of the previous round, the big weapon of the operator down. They try to delay with the salvos, but Kayak's already through. Crashed through the gates on the B site. He's claimed it for Fnatic. A plant now secured. A 5 versus 3. RRQ, well, you talked about the slow rounds. This was a bit more direct, but we might still get that late round save.
Well, I also think it was Boaster's paranoia that must have just been perfectly placed, because I think that was just an immediate gate crash into the site for Kayak, and it looks almost silly that he's able to get that kill for free. Breaking back into this though, it was mentioned, it's not going to be easy. You're facing off against that Vice in tandem with Sage, and well, that's before you even talk about some of the individual brilliance currently in the server. This has been a very peculiar game. Both sides winning a lot of their rounds incredibly cleanly. And this time that pace change from Fnatic, and more importantly, catching out of Jemkin, has turned this completely in the other direction. At least though, Crazy Guy's going to make it a little bit more costly, but let's be real, it's not going to do too much in terms of the economy.
Yeah, I liked what Boaster was doing there. Alpha was a little bit ahead of it though. Initially you see him clearing out main, looking for players in the corner, but ends up being at least a dent in that economy. There's your paranoia going through, and the full blinded Cypher on the side of Xpharaoh. Not much to say about that. 4-2. But like we said, it's been clean rounds, been a couple of saves at a time. RRQ still able to buy up. We got to be getting close to a record here so far in the tournament for the most back-to-back buy rounds for both teams. I mean, it is ridiculous.
Well, I want to see how good these teams are with the Stinger. That's been the gun of the tournament, I feel, so far, but not in this game. I think we've seen one. That was on Chronicle. Nonetheless, he's now got an operator of his own. Clearly expecting that aggression to come in. Early TP just to try and clear out Switch. The run in, Kayak's already gone down. Smoke going to be thrown back out to try and delay them that a little bit further, but it feels like now Fnatic are a little bit more committed. Boaster has made that move eventually, but is the only one out. They're still just trying to get through this choke point. Stuck by Monya Smoke. getting out of here is going to be difficult. Alfia's got a long wait before that heal's going to be available. In fact, we'll be down to the last 15 seconds of the round if that happens. And obviously for Chronicle with the operator, all he can really hope to do is hold the cross.
And there could even be a world here where they're going to group up, swap that op into Alfia's hands. Yeah, there we go. It's the right play. Give him at least a chance to trade bullet for bullet. They have got the B site wide open. RRQ, they've shown us a lot of patience on the defensive side. This time it may be their downfall is that they will give the plant away. 12 seconds.
With Dimensional Drift online though, I'm not worried. Like you could just throw that in just to confirm this round. I think clearing out all of the risky angles will just make this so much easier. And playing this as a 4 versus 2 retake, I think the gamble would be is if you left it down to a 1v1 on the site. They're not going to allow that to happen. Chronicle though, this is what I'm talking about. He's going to try and get aggressive, try and be surprising. They already know where he is. That surprise factor is gone.
Alpha, though, still manages to land a shot. They know where Chronicle is. That was the problem. It's down to the low HP player. He's healed himself slightly. He'll survive a shot, but not to the head. Cushy puts him in the ground, and RRQ convert 3 to 4 now. And Fnatic being wiped out, but guess what? They still got credits.
Yeah, of course they do. All of these rounds have been fairly clean. In fact, this is one of the first ones that hasn't for the side of RRQ, but this is sort of the issue I'm talking about. Like a lot of the time you're going to see double or in some cases even triple initiator on this. Placing the wall down and try and get through the choke, but the choke is the same. You're still going through that gap. And the couple of TPs not working out made it incredibly difficult to get out of that choke point. Even still, 4 to 3 up on the attack side of this map. Already said defense normally better. And what a Hunter's Fury pop. Chronicle's dead to rights. Nice start, in fact. Another tag to be had as well. Not as impactful when they have a Sage, though.
Yeah, not...
Maybe somebody was a little bit deeper. They are wary of those salvos. That's what it is. They're using the res here. They're just expecting the salvos to just remove anybody else who's left. Shot dart over the top. Same wall. Getting ready to go. But they should be aware of this. Jemkim also holding the line into middle. Fnatic starting to fall flat once again. It's only really Alfia who's done anything. And well, Kayak now with 14 seconds, 4 players to find. And guess what? RRQ are not going to be peeking. That'll be the scoreline equalized for the Pacific #2. And well, for Fnatic it feels like feast or famine.
Very much so. I mean, in this round, you see early pick go down, sure, but the great thing about RRQ, like you said, is the fact that they have this composition with the Teho that is now getting into Fnatic's head. You can't pop that res because the ult can come through, and even after the ult's been put in, you're worried about the salvo. Crashies is going out running backwards to take down a camera. Xpharaoh giving the freest fights of his life. This is a time to take a break, a little timeout for Fnatic. Back to the drawing board because it looks like RRQ are picking up some steam. They've managed to chain 2 rounds together. The most that we've seen since the pistol round and the follow-up. Yeah. But I think most importantly is the position that they've now put Fnatic in with
FNC timeout. 4-4.
Half, which with how some of these rounds have started to go, I wouldn't be overly surprised. That's a little bit more of a problem, so they want to try and stop that early.
Well, round 9 kicking off. A lot of weaknesses for Fnatic. See if they can turn those into advantages. It's unlikely, and with Jemkin having so much impact so far, since this operator's been picked up, he'll be a a big piece of the puzzle to figure out when it comes to the next round.
Portal closed.
Maybe finding some information here will help them out. Slow start, as expected, but leaning towards the B site, which is much more open.
I wonder if this is down to the Steel Garden. One way to level the playing field would be to use that ultimate, remove the weaponry. So if you sit out of the site, fairly easy to step back. It's a slow ult to activate. And then you don't lose any of your weaponry. You can run back in on the retake. And you can see all of this utility being expended, set up to try and make things that little bit more awkward. Well, there's absolutely nobody here.
Yeah, there won't be the Steel Garden used, but instead the gate crash alongside the paranoia to clear that backside B. We've already seen the impact from Kayak, but so passive are RRQ. They tried to disrupt the plant. They won't find it. Chronicle lands a double poster on the Frenzy. Hold on. This is looking very winnable for Fnatic all of a sudden. And Xvero falls quickly. Crashy's getting revenge, catches him looking the other way from the stairs for the MasterCard Thrifty. I really thought this was going to be RRQ taking the lead, Tom.
Yeah, the one thing I was nervous about was once Fnatic actually took the site, I was like, okay, now that Steel Garden is actually really impactful. It was completely meaningless. It just Chronicle hitting a lovely couple of shots, and then I think he even tags up the next player, which the spam, helps out Bosa. So I spoke about the potential of championship form Chronicle. This was a round that, well, as you can see, he's going to be very, very happy with. And what was it? What they thought was a setup ends up not working out. 5-4. Fnatic take the lead once again. But the operator is still in play for Jemkim. He's been able to sort of dominate whenever he's in the right place at the right time, but for a lot of this map, it's figuring that out because of how slow Fnatic have been.
So in the previous round, obviously playing off B site, playing a little heavier towards that right side of the map, you're in a position to try to step out of a Steel Garden towards that A site, fight in afterwards. The hope is from RRQ, even if that ult is used. Actually, you probably want the ult to be used. Now it's online for this round.
Yep.
Rez is there. Hunter's Fury. Fnatic have so much to work with. For RRQ.
But here it is.
One round down. They're on the B site this time, completely trapped in. This is a problem. Cushy. He's going to have a swarm of locusts descending upon him. But his weapon is back up. The flash catches, but Cushy, good for one, good for two. Against all odds on the backside. He was caught by the Steel Garden. But he's the one drawing blood till Chronicle again delivers a double.
Chronicle has been impressive. Jemkim rifle retrieved. Crashies has that Hunter's Fury, but using it might be difficult. Nice shock dart, but even still a couple. Looked like they could have gone the other way, but Chronicle still stands tall. The rounds that they've been winning the last couple have mostly come off the back of him. The Sentinel now overtakes Jemkim. He's 11-3 right now, and really overshadows the job that was done by Cushy. The fact is, he was left as sort of the anchor so that they couldn't do that again. He did phenomenal work. 2 kills from the backside, but making it through that smoke, similarly to what Fnatic was struggling with, also seemed like a death sentence.
It's just got to be great to have Chronicle on your team, man. Like we said, he had maybe 2 weeks, maybe 3 at a stretch where he was a bit more quiet. Started out 5-0 here, now 11-3. That op from Jemkin on the other side has slowed down. A timeout from RRQ as they start to feel the pressure. This was a game of back and forth buy rounds, slow approach, big saves. Now, RRQ are the ones that will have to taste the eco as they come into the next. And Force by looking very unlikely to see their economy when we get back in the game, but it should be in the bin. With a 2-round lead already, facing into an eco, this could be the advantage at the halftime locked in. And despite how close this was, Fnatic winning the pistol and having momentum towards the end, they could undo all the rights of that early half and end up at double the scoreline of their opposition.
Yeah, I think 6 rounds is already a very good position for Fnatic to be in. Everything points to RRQ having their struggles on the attack side of this map, and well, at 4-4 after losing the pistol, we're talking about potentially turning into a great half now. Well, they'd have to win themselves this eco round to even have a chance of leveling things up.
Stranger things have happened. It's a good flash to start. The drone's got all the info. They know about the danger up close. Fnatic won't go running brazenly into that, but Cushy's trying to take advantage of the gap. He's being spotted though. Boaster about to set up a smoke. Oh, he looked a little asleep at the start. Not expecting one yet around that corner, but Chronicle, reliable, takes the pick. Jemkin super low as well, and yeah, the wall is tripped on B, but Fnatic have already put their eggs in this basket. The A site being taken. xFaroe tagged low. And a jump around from Kayak will catch him off. There is damage done on the other side though. Kayak is relatively low. They've managed to draw blood onto Boaster. RRQ can make this costly, but I don't know how much impact that's realistically going to have. They needed the round win.
At this stage as well, damage really doesn't mean anything. So many credits for Fnatic to buy back in with, and a 7-round attack side half. That was something they'd be happy with their old composition, with the chamber in the mix. I think now that they've added in the Sage, this is looking incredibly dangerous for RRQ, of course. Looking forward in the series, I do think that the map pool should get better for them. They're comfortable on Corrode. They've kicked into Abyss, which, I'll be honest, historically wasn't good for either of these sides, but hey, that's their choice. Ascent, over the last few months, they've been 1-6, so I think expectations were relatively low, but this is starting to look very rough indeed.
Oh, Jemkin, there we go. The return of the op, and of course it's Chronicle that he finds. A massive scalp to take early on. Player who has bailed Fnatic out of a lot of bad situations. The 7-5 half up for grabs. Up against the team that sent RRQ out of Toronto, the grudge match. Jemkin's going back out for more. Same spot as before. Of course, he's got teammates covering deep into mid, so he doesn't have to worry about his left side. He's covering this cross, and eventually that fight is going to be forced out. Crashies, but it's more importantly Alpha with the spike. He's got two! Alpha walls up, pops the res, uses it as a bait for another, but xFaroe delivers. And a 2 versus 2 spawns from this. With the ult from Boaster, the spike will be reclaimed, but look at Munyet.
Giving his position away. Clearly aware of the potential paranoia to re-swing, but he's not won the fight. And now xFaroe left on just 20 HP. This will be a tough one to win, but it will come down to the timing. If he can find a gap, find some space, maybe there's an opportunity down to just 10. Facing off, and he has managed it with barely any HP left. That is absurd.
A miracle play from xFaroe. Isolating each fight, taking them down and putting 5 on the board for RRQ. A damn sight better than it could have been as we go into the halftime. They are trailing by 2. I love the slowdown. The slow-mo on the voice lines, but that looked like it was done.
One enemy
a big
remaining.
swing from Alpha. He was on fire, but xFaroe extinguished hope for Fnatic in this round.
At least a little bit of semblance of hope after what was a round that was definitely looking like it would turn into an 8-4 half. Nonetheless, it was still a good half for Fnatic, so let's go down with Lou, who's talking to Boaster's parents.
La réunion de famille continue avec les parents de Boaster. Boaster parents just joined me, Suzanne and Gary. First of all, welcome to Paris. And the first question I wanted to ask you, Gary, is that we know that your son has been, handling the IGL captain responsibilities for a long while now. So do you feel like he always had that extroverted, fiber in him?
Well, it's difficult to say, really. Obviously, he just took over the gaming and went away, playing games in London, So yeah, I think that's where he wanted to go.
He was enjoying himself since the very beginning indeed. Donc on le sait, Boster c'est l'IGL, le capitaine, il a des responsabilités depuis le début. Est-ce qu'il a toujours été comme ça, un peu extraverti? Bah oui, depuis le début, il était à fond dans les jeux, il partait à Londres pour jouer, etc., pour profiter. Donc je suis sûre qu'il avait ça en lui depuis le début. And my question now, Suzanne, is for you, because your son is not only a captain, he's also a content demon, especially a dancer. So what do we think about his dancing skills? Where did he get them from, actually? Is it from you?
He's always loved dancing. He belong to a local musical theatre school, and his favourite was the dancing, ballet, anything, and of course now the K-pop. He loved everything, any dance.
Any dance he can do indeed, K-pop, ballet, that's insane. Donc on parle aussi des skills de danse de Boster, évidemment. Il est trop fort, il peut faire de la K-pop, etc. D'où est-ce qu'il tire ça? Eh ben, il est à l'école, d'une école de théâtre. Il adorait la danse, donc forcément il est à l'aise pour la K-pop, le ballet. Il sait tout faire. And let's see now if Natty can take the win on this map.
I love the fact that we have just shown clips of Boster twerking to his parents. I'm sure they must look up on the big screen and go, yep, that's what he's done for the community.
Getting into your Coinbase econ report now before the next half, and Chronicle has to be the highlight. He started out 5-0, ended the half 13-4. The man was hard to shut down, Tom.
Yeah, he wasn't really dying at all throughout. Like, it made it just so difficult. The finances of Fnatic became so good all the way through, and it was him and Alpha that I feel like really put up the majority of their rounds. Of course, going into the defensive side, you kind of expect more of the same. Maybe with a little bit more from Kayak. He's been a bit quiet so far, but obviously we say a lot with this attack side. It's very difficult getting into those sites, and that's where I wonder if Jemkin's going to be able to have the same level of impact. Like, can he now be as good on the entry as he was on the defense? Because it is much, much harder.
Oh, Fnatic! They're giving them a taste of their own medicine! It's the stack up on mid, 3 instead of RRQ's 4. But they have found 2 picks and left X-Sparrow down to 5, a much more successful start. And one of the things I wanted to highlight, Tom, is the man we're on board with right now, Munyet. He has had a tough first half, and a man we have high expectations for. I don't think Fnatic will get to see this side of Munyet for much longer, but for now, certainly a lot more to be desired. And with this pistol, if Fnatic win this, that's both pistols under their belt, which ultimately, in a 7-5 half, the pistol was what made the difference.
Yeah. I think it'd be a bit more damning. What?
All right.
Okay, that's going to help them out a little bit. A full blind shot for one of their players. Monyet's found another. You mentioned him, and he's come alive, and it's starting to get a little bit dangerous. A fight that could change it, but the jumping. He's known for his dancing, but he'll stand up as well. It's Boster to close things out in the pistol round. And as you said, that extra little boost could make all the difference in their map choice.
Oh, RRQ getting a little taste of the UAE chant that we know from the EMEA arena. It's a wild idea as well to do exactly what your opponents put into play. And we've seen this from Fnatic before.
I'm a gardener. I got flowers and shit.
Okay.
I'll be honest with you, I don't know what that means, but hell yeah, garden away. Fnatic 8-5. Strong lead, and they're up against Classics. For RRQ, farming those orbs early, the name of the game. You can see the crazy guys containing that A orb while his teammates take it on B, but IX pushed up on mid. Gate crash fading. I don't think he'll stick around too much longer, and indeed, he's already out.
Does mean there's an opportunity for the ace, and Crazy Guy does not want to give it to him. This man was confident enough as it is. His 17th kill already. Oh, Crazy Guy. He's trying to go around the world. It seems like Kayak, he is baiting. What a wonderful teammate that this guy is. In fact, they're all trying to give the opportunity for this man to get the ace, and he will get it. Chronicle, the first ace for Fnatic in the tournament. And one that, yeah, I'm going to need it slow. I still don't know.
Hold on. Here we go. That was one shot. One shot, 3 kills. That's unbelievable from Chronicle. And that's what you like to see from a team. Patatek should take some notes.
I do feel incredibly bad for them though, because it's like you swarm in one player, 3 of you all line up at once. That's about as cursed as it gets, but obviously it was only an eco. This is when we need to see a change for RRQ. Kayak wasn't spotted in the last round, so it's going to go for the same play. Likely that he may not find anything again. Xfero just jiggling.
He's going to go out. The gate crash going to be used. Surely it's running out of time. There we go. He's back out, but Crashy's out of the round. He's taken down in market, and RRQ used that knowing that rotations will come through. Now they look to pressure towards mid. This is the right read. Fnatic are offering up a fight, and if the numbers from the attack go that way, they could have had a duel. Very heavily favored to themselves. In fact, they still might. Boaster's going to be walled up here. It's an audacious play, but he goes jumping on top of the box. And Xfero in with the early punish, a 3 versus 5 now.
Yeah, I don't mind the idea, but the additional jump made it difficult. Chronicle on the other side, they're going to have at least a little bit of worries about that Guardian after the last round. Alpha yet, he's being watched. Well played by Munya, making sure that lurk can't come in from behind. And while it needs to be a 1v5, but it's not going to happen. A solid round from the side of RRQ, patient in their attack. But as we know, with how clean the last couple have been, there's another buy coming.
Well, it's already a margin better than the last time these two teams faced. It was Fnatic taking it 13-5. With RRQ hitting 6, but they're facing into a full buy now. Like you said, this is a different flavor, perhaps, from Fnatic. 18-5 on Chronicle. And he had a lights-out start to the map, but there has just been next to no stopping him. And in round 16, it'll be a slow, methodical start from RRQ. Pressure towards the A site, but the spike still sat outside B. The salvos sent through to clear wine. It's all about just pushing Fnatic back, limiting how much info, how much control they have to play with.
Push though, not going that way.
The drone already put through on A, alarm bells ringing. Fnatic know the hits coming in with that paranoia having landed. Kayak doesn't find much. A quieter performance continues. We look for another hero on this site. Alfier grabs some info, but swings into heavy traffic. Boaster isolated. They'll be taken down after 1. Chronicle and Crashies. Okay, that shock dart makes it doable. I was already thinking perhaps the save call, but now they can go for this. And with Crazy Guy taking a fight alone, he's giving them a real chance. Xfero so desperately low. They'll play this together with a flash still in play for Chronicle. That's a good way to burst them out into this site. If Xfero doesn't break this one yet, he blinded up. It's going down below. Oh, it's going up top. Okay, they're clearing it. Now looking to fight together with the reveal. They've seen one, they've seen the other, but Xfero lands the shot. And it's all onto Crashies. The drop down should be deadly. A double swing, but Xfero gets ahead of the play. Crashies running out of time, but he'll catch Munya as the spike ticks away. Fnatic, it's close, but I think they've got it. Double digits on the board, and you have to look at RRQ there. Xfero, that was a mistake.
Yeah, he was so good for the first fight. That gets the timing perfect on the swing, but I think maybe just a little bit of miscommunication. This shock dart was huge, because as you said, this was going into a 2 versus 4. Instead, it ends up with 1 immediately taken out, and then the aggressive position of Crazy Guy. That is just a poor post plant. Like, I can forgive the guy planting the spike. You don't know that's coming. But from then onwards, you have 1 guy super aggressive, then you get it into the 2v1, and from that point onwards, you just need to wait for the drop.
That's a shame, and RRQ as well, with the margin of error that they had in terms of economy. This has pushed them to the limit. This could give Fnatic a little bit of momentum to carry it across the line, to at least push up to 12. A win here. I mean, put it this way, RRQ put a lot more pressure on themselves for this round. What could have been their redemption arc. At 9-7, the scoreline closing in, the walls closing on Fnatic. looking like a sprint to the finish line for the defense.
One good thing is that RRQ have a lot of potential to pad the gap with ults. Hunter's Fury one away. The drone's crossing path, but not really finding out too much, and the pistol shots will be heard, but again, it's just trying to bait that wall being broken. They now look to try and move back to the other side of the map, but this definitely has its risks about it. FNC haven't moved. They'll catch the first, and actually that's wonderful from Cushy. 2 players down, Kayak trying to rotate into position. He's hoping someone peeks off it, but they don't. Another control being taken. Fnatic can't afford to fight this. Their economy was already on the brink after that last round. They're just going to have to hold on to their guns.
Well, especially, I'm looking at that A-side take that RRQ were posturing for at the very start of the round, and I'm thinking, well, this is actually disastrous. If they run the same play, not only will individuals be a little bit more ready for that, but if the play goes even if it goes a little bit better for RRQ, the retake with Chronicle and Crashies both now having ults, it's a completely different game. It's so much stronger, especially the Steel Garden. It would have to be convincing in that A push, and instead they decide to go back to the B site. They decide to push into the players who have those ultimates, into the heavier defense setup. Especially looking at Chronicle just as an individual, and then with his utility. But the fact that Cushy finds not one but both of them, complete game changer. That's a course correction on what was a disastrous previous round. 10-7. 3 players save on Fnatic though. They'll be able to fight for this next one.
Yeah, no, they needed all of those guns. With only Crashy surviving in the last round, he's the only one that has any hope for some bonus cash. And even still, it calls into question if they actually want to go for this. It's not the best of purchases if they do. They may opt to just play with the weaker guns that they have, and especially now with a Dimensional Drift Hunter's Fury combo coming in for RRQ, I'd almost say it's not worth the risk.
Love this as well. Boaster's giving the rifle over to Chronicle. He'll play with the Frenzy. That's a team player right there. When Chronicle's having a game like he is, you better be giving him the rifle. Not sure about peeking short with the Frenzy, but it's all for info. We'll fall back. Very early use of the drone as well from Crazy Guy. They're looking to really claim this space towards middle, but Fnatic are responding. They've started to push down through B main, take some deep control of their own. And it's not... Oh, it is being watched, actually. It's Crazy Guy just posted on the angle alongside the trip.
It's the amount of delay that they currently have on that A site. The Thorns have been placed all the way along. Chronicle for a lot of the rounds has been on this B site, so they'll now deep wall, which again will give them information if it's shot to break, and if it's not, they'll know that position is clear, and instead they set up a firing squad around the sheer. But this is what I've enjoyed from RRQ. They've been methodical at slowly breaking their way through this utility. Information will be had that there's 2 players around this position. Steel Garden thrown in to try and remove that weaponry, but Jemkin may be already doing enough. 30 seconds left on the clock, and oh, there's nobody here anymore, at least with the weaponry. And this hold into mid, it could be a problem. That's a spike down. They need to run back into the hands of Chronicle. He's waiting, but he can't quite win the fight. Jemkin once again with another massive round individually. And for a second that looked like that could get chaotic, but it didn't even seem like a problem in the end.
Well, it definitely could have. I mean, you look at the TP from Munyet, the fact that he goes from the shadows, the fact that Jemkin's able to make his way all the way onto that side through market to spot those players in the first place. Those are the guys who would be running down mid to pressure these attackers who've just lost their weapons. But instead, it ends up countering that Steel Guard. Hunter's Fury thrown through as well.
Perfect.
I don't think it found its mark, but again, it's all about just pushing those players out of position. Lack of comfort. 2 rounds ahead now are Fnatic as they call a timeout. RRQ starting to heat up, starting to catch up with 2 rounds in a row. And the way that the economy's been, I mean, it's still looking pretty shaky for Fnatic. They're not on the same page fiscally. You could very well see RRQ push up to double digits soon. It's the right moment to take a timeout.
Yeah, I think as well, just like, I think that RRQ have been very, very quick to sort of adapt to everything that's going on. Like, they know that the big problem for them will be if they run late into a round and there's the Thorns online, if the Shear is still there, if the Sage Wall is available, and each time you're watching them methodically through the round, okay, we're going to figure out where each piece of the puzzle is, and then we're going to execute with 35, 40 seconds left. Like, they still leave themselves enough times, but by that point, all of the things that make it very awkward for them are gone, because Fnatic have had to react in case they're going to go diving into the site. And you even see, I think the main one there was the getting rid of the Thorns on shore and then having that Shear removed. The second that was gone, their execution just picked up pace massively.
6 rounds.
All the barriers are going up once again. Timeout finished. And we've seen this trip a few times. It was in the previous round, and actually Crazy Guy was holding, letting them take the space, and looking to punish them as they tried to walk around the trip, or walk deeper into the trip. And it's all just to deny that early shock dart that's being put through, and of course, Fnatic for now have no way to know that info is online late round. It's given RRQ a lot more to play with. The wall going to be used, but broken so quickly. They know there's numbers here, but RRQ have been doing a lot of posturing.
But yeah, look, that's Paranoia and Sage Wall gone within the first 40 seconds of the round. They're not going to mind that at all.
No, they're very successful in terms of baiting out their opponent's utility and not overcommitting either. Sometimes you see that work out well half of the time, and the other half you're losing a player or two in overcommitments. That doesn't seem to be the case for RRQ.
No.
Very contained when they're baiting out that util early round.
No, I think they've genuinely been fantastic. Not overdoing it, not taking too many risks. They're now going to go back to the exact position that they sort of baited out before, the slows. Will delay them at least a little bit, and there are quite a few players here for Fnatic. The weaponry, at least on Boaster, definitely not ideal, but again, this is just posturing. They now head back towards Kayak. Now, he's been having a rough game. They could definitely use him helping them out, and with the Hunter's Fury in combination, that creates a distraction. That's the spike on the deck, 15 seconds left. This one's looking a little bit more rushed. They need to get a move on. And Alpha and Chronicle at the back of this site. All they need to do is hold the line at least a few seconds, and in fact, they've already got the Thorns to do that job for them. Fnatic find their form, and of course, once more, into the hands of Chronicle.
Yeah, I like the start of the round from RRQ, getting towards short, baiting all of that, but the problem is, when they rotate back, having drained the utility belts of their opponents, Fnatic have 3 players close by who immediately hear that. The rotates are instant, they get towards that site, and then you're playing a slow, first of all, 2 points. First of all, you're playing a slow round against Fnatic. They know how to play against slow rounds. They play a lot of them. But secondly, you're running with 15 seconds left into a Vice setup, and that Vice setup belongs to Chronicle.
I think
you're crazy.
I also want to say as well, I want to give credit to Crashies. I think the timing of that Hunter's Fury, I think without it, they probably clear Kayak much quicker, and then maybe you have an extra 15 seconds on the clock to get into the site rather than 8.
Yeah. Which also comes back to, they heard the steps rotating away. Kayak needs to get out of there, and he does quite quickly. Yeah, it was a little too telegraphed from RRQ. 11 to 8. Margin for error thinning, and already the economy on the rocks, but Crazy Guy comes in with a big ult online. Especially on the attack side.
There's a lot of angles that can be cleared by this, a lot of cheeky spots that can be denied. But this is both teams with their economy on the brink. This could be a chance for RRQ to equalize, or it could be the end of the map. Kayak again, not quite connecting, got to go forward. Position being created, awkward, and the openers for RRQ are fantastic. Nobody really here to try and deny them anymore. The spams and crashies are hopeful at best, especially with them knowing his exact position. And it now comes down to the same decision for Fnatic. Do you risk this?
I love this from Jamkin, 10 HP in a heads-up duel. He's not going to do very well, so he decides to play that very late wraparound. That should seal the deal. Even if Fnatic decide to go back and save these weapons, he will be waiting. Alpha down, Boaster follows, and Crashies inside the smoke. It's soon to fade. I don't think he's got a great chance of holding on to this weapon. And he won't do any damage. It's a flawless round for RRQ. The climb back, just 2 rounds behind again, but these teams have been keeping a healthy buffer between them. If that continues, Fnatic will hit 13 pretty soon. We need to see RRQ continue this form.
Yeah, Crazy Guy's utility in this round just made that B-site hold so awkward. It forced a really aggressive fight from Kayak. And I'll be honest, honest, in terms of what we've seen in EMEA, this isn't comparable. Like, he is having a really rough time on the stage at the moment. He's been caught up by Monyet, but this is a player we expect to have large amounts of impact. Speaking of another, though, that's a nice shot from Alpha. It removes that lurking player of Xpero. Maybe gives them a little bit of extra space. The problem, though, is Crashy's already gone down in response, and the Salvo will deny any aggression.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about pistols for most players. Kayak's in a good spot. Monyet crosses over, but he's now seeing Chronicle, and Kayak lands the headshot. An outlaw and a rifle picked up an advantage in manpower. A res online for Alpha. An ult for info if Boaster wants to use it. But Kayak's already got plenty to work with. This is now winnable for the defensive side, and RRQ need to tighten up the ship. Following up as well. Now a 2v2, but the res will be used. Fnatic not looking to let this round slip just yet. The flash pops. And I love the thorns to the back, but they don't get activated, and Cushy continues to deliver on the backside. Boaster landing one, leaves Cushy alone. But it's a 1v1, and with Boaster so desperately low, and the clock draining, it's Cushy to find all five. RRQ just one behind.
He has been so impressive throughout this map so far. There's been rounds that have gone late where you see him run in and get a double, but this was all him. Sure, maybe there were 6 kills to be had in the round because of the res, but I don't think anybody on the RRQ side of things is going to be too worried about that one. A solid hold to end it out, moving him up to 19 on the board, overtaking Jemkin. But this is where Fnatic now have themselves a buy. The last round was a lot of missing pieces, but a big opportunity. Now is where they need to recover, because RRQ have been building into this attack side.
Oh, here we go. Jemkin finding the info. Cushy finding the tags and finding the IGL of Fnatic. He will lead from the death screen, but Chronicle able to trade things back, removing this extra smokes in the late round. That's going to be quite the blow. It looks like Fnatic want to get ahead of this. They've got 3 players in heaven, but a flash primed and ready. They're thinking about getting aggressive as the Rose Garden goes through. In comes Kayak. He's found one. A wall bang onto Crazy Guy, but Jemkin, he's keeping this, well, at least under control for a moment, even with the pistol in play. Late for round for next Pharaoh's going to be all that it comes down to, but he's got to swing into a plant position that he just cannot deny the defuse from. 12-10, Fnatic, they edge out this round, and they've got 2 chances to take the map.
It does feel like every single time there's a moment that it looks like RRQ are going to get back into this. Fnatic just find an extra level, an extra little bit of form, and started with another big kill from Chronicle, but it is just the swarm of the site, not allowing them to get into those post plants.
Hello, where are you, bro? Hello, bro. Where are you, bro? Are you Turkish police, bro?
2 rounds left for RRQ to hit an OT. Manageable with the economy that they've got to play with.
It feels like they deserve it. Like, considering they've lost both pistols in this game, it's been a fight back every single time. Kayak is going to get himself into the corner. Is this something that's checked? It is, and what Jemkin has been winning that fight time and time again. His sight hold, though, has been devastating. They're walking into Chronicle's domain, and thus far this game he's been dominant.
Yeah, Chronicle has been the difference maker. Crashies has been pretty reliable. The utility's keeping them out of Boathouse for now. The push comes to a slow for RRQ. Spike retrieved. They haven't set their sights on it just yet. The run through the smoke successful for Xpero. With Chronicle already gone, Boaster and Alpha have a difficult decision. Going for this. And, oh, well, it's no longer a decision. No debate. Jemkin's down, and it's Xpero and Monyet against Boaster and Alpha.
Got a real opportunity. Back into the 2 versus 2. Maybe expectations that there'll be somebody within this smoke already. Risk it, but eventually jumps through, but doesn't realize maybe there's somebody on the other side. They will now, and even going to trade it out.
The TP used as bait. Monya to try and keep them in the map, and he cannot do it. Alvia standing once again. A third kill in the round, and well, eventually Fnatic, they got the job done.
It's a nail-biter of a map, but Fnatic take it 13-10. Revenge denied for RRQ. But up next, the shake-up in the map pool with Abyss and Corrode. It's all to play for after the break.
Because these aren't my shots, they're Milan's. Mine are in the wash. The cameraman was so shocked. I went down, I did that, and I was like, where am I shots? I had to pull it up ASAP Rocky.
Now that I'm a mom, things are different. Verizon's different too. They let everyone in my family choose different plans. We get what we want and we save money. Love that for me.
honestly was being shut down a lot, especially by Jemkin in the head-to-head. 7-2 favorite against them.
Also for Jemkin, offing was really solid, and we're going to another map where offing is crucial. The sightlines on this map are stupid long, obviously. The map is massive, so he can farm if he gets that up on defense, but on attack as well.
I do wonder what Fnatic are going to do, because this is a rare map that Alpha gets to play Jet. We're going to get a waylay, and I mean, it's not going to be a waylay Yoru, because it's Kayak that plays the Yoru
And
normally.
this is what Fnatic, they, you know, obviously waylay wasn't in the game yet, but back when they were playing this before, they loved running breach on it still, the double initiator. They love playing the Astra on it. I mean, Boaster loves his Astra in general, and they're going up against just the most default of default comps you could possibly see.
I mean, this is where it helps RRQ a little bit, right? You talk about comfortability. This is peak comfortability.
I gotta be honest, I'm surprised Fnatic are sticking to a breach on this map.
They haven't locked it in yet. They haven't locked it in
Yeah,
yet.
they haven't locked it. Maybe I'm being baited. I'll wait another 10 seconds or so. Am I being baited?
We have to, I think, double down this waylay, because this is not something we see from Fnatic. This is brand new for them.
I mean, I don't know what Crashes is kind of, we're actually getting
being
rolled.
rage
That's crazy. Yeah, GG did this to us plenty as well. Okay, but let's look what we do know. RRQ obviously extended comps, good for a good reason. We've got really great, like, re-clears off of the our drone, of course. KO for those fast hits, Crashes blocking the server. So with a breach, waylay look here for Fnatic.
And a lot of pressure on Kayak to come right back to life after slow start on map 1 and a lot of first deaths. He's going to be getting a lot of supportive utility pumped into him on this attack side when he's going to be using that light speed to double dash in. He is going to be critical in turning his game around for Fnatic to win on a map where historically they don't win very often.
Almost never.
Yeah.
I am surprised though Alpha doesn't get to play that Jet. You would think with the form that he's on and how well he's been fragging out, that's the double dive could work for them here, but I'm not gonna be mad about a waylay debut on the side of Kayak. Mitch and Tom, what did you make of this one?
Well, I've been convinced by the waylay, I'll tell you that. I think in terms of what RRQ are bringing, we've already seen how this can be punished, I suppose, here on the map of Abyss. I'm curious to see Jemkin, and if he has the same struggles that we've seen before for Team Liquid when it came to that attack side, in terms of taking that space and then doing something with it.
The only thing I'm sad about is the bit I liked about the previous waylay we saw was that there was a Yoru to go with it. Like, there was always a 1-2 punch. Like, this is a solo waylay, and actually running the comp in the past, Alphia was actually running the Jet. So it was like you had that double duelist that I think worked wonderfully for Fnatic on that attack side. And obviously there's benefits of having the other util, but
I must wait a moment.
I don't know. I kind of wanted to see the double duelist flare come out of Fnatic with that waylay in play. We'll see what ideas they have, at least for now. Kayak going walkabouts.
That's exactly it. Straight down through mid. Fnatic starting out confidently. They're going to be greeted by Xfero, who's been there to punish them a couple of times on the previous map. That stun doesn't actually catch him. It's Jemkin to find a pick, but it's traded back by 2 and slowed down in the re-aggression through mid. RRQ, by the time they get through that choke, get a
the timing
onto the stairs. I thought Fnatic would be safely out of there, but yeah, Kayak has been caught back to a 3v3.
She's just holding the angle, but doesn't manage to land. Pistol definitely not done yet. Bear in mind, Fnatic have won both of them so far, and that was seemingly the difference maker in terms of the rounds in the last map. 3 players of RRQ grouping up outside this B site, and after a little peek in that direction, it feels like Fnatic have got completely the wrong read. This is going to be a free plant, and they're going to be as far away as humanly possible. I don't know what information they had that this was going to be an A hit, but whatever it was, it has baited them completely.
RRQ have also done a great job of keeping their utility here. Munyet not burning up a Paranoia. Taking this as a contact play now gives them a lot more to work with when it comes to this post plant. I'm curious to see whether this was going to be used in an aggressive way with the position of Jemkin to try to paranoia him through when they hear these steps of the retake, but instead they're playing back on the side.
They got both of the shock darts and the recon as well, so there's a lot available for them.
This Paranoia line
to try and have their sweaty little lineups. There's the Paranoia just to kind of keep Jemkin safe in the corner. It does mean they know he's there. Crashy's able to clear already. Potential, but it's just going to be the fireflies from Crazy Guy, but it's worked out.
One found already within the Smoker's Chronicle. He's trying to continue from before, and immediately it's going to land himself another shot. It's whether or not he has enough time. He does not. It was incredibly close for another Chronicle miracle, but instead, it will be RRQ taking the round.
And we know how good he is with the Classic. We saw the Ghost in the last map, and now the Sheriff here, but 0.31 of a second stands between them and success. And this, as you said, was the difference maker. When you look back on the previous map, they won, Fnatic won by 3 rounds, and they got a 4-0 start in terms of those pistols and follow-ups. It makes all the difference. Maybe it will here for RRQ as well. This is, you know, you look at Ascent last time, that was what's out of Toronto. They were 13-5 on it up against Fnatic. But now this one, we're going into unknown territory in terms of these two, Abyss and Corrode head-to-head. But I am curious to see in the rifle rounds how this comp is going to play out, because like I said, there was a lot of punish for the role that Jemkin is playing.
Oh dear.
You can see the tweets already.
All 5 players going down. They gambled on one side of the map. They got the side of the map wrong. They don't want to give the orbs over on the rotation either, so economically not bad for RRQ. They get to keep all their guns, but they don't gain any of the orbs for it. That will put them 2-0 in the lead though. And with 4 rifles onto the board, there's even an argument for buying up a 5th one, but they'll keep themselves the marshal. Set up very early in towards this B site. It seems to be their favored of the 2 thus far. We'll see if that continues throughout the map.
Stunned how there's no way Kayak's getting super aggressive here on the back of it. No, they will just sit and wait, but here comes a dive from Jemkin. Kayak with the immediate punish, he gets out. Has his refract to go back, but doubtful that's going to be used. They've made it now into a 5v4. Denying the plant. Oh no, it's not. It's on the other side of the box, pardon me. Cushy's able to get the plant down nice and open.
Yeah, I guess they didn't expect just for him to plant almost in front of them. It's a bit of a gamble with this many players there, but it sets them up nicely into the post plant. All 5 players from Fnatic, and still a decent amount of utility. Recon already being sent out to try and clear some of that backline, but in fact it's a much deeper post plant. The spams is the aim of the game. A 1-for-1 trade, but bear in mind what they lost it on last time. It was the time, it was the clock that went against Fnatic. Already you see the fragment into position. At times starting to tick down once again, and they're only just getting onto it. The shock dart, it's going to go through, but it's missed. I don't think it's quite as close this time around. They will be able to get it done. Fnatic have a round, but if that shot was a little deeper, they did not.
Just an inch to the right, and that's a completely different game. Yeah, that's unfortunate for RRQ, but they make that one crazy competitive after losing opening pick and then pushing into the site in the 5v4. Numbers against them. They managed to run that clock way down, that flash popping just a millisecond too late. Guess they weren't expecting aggressively. Now, 2-1. But the damage done in that previous, it's eating away at a few of the credits. A full buy for RRQ though nonetheless. And a slow defaulty approach from them.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Look how passive they are on B. They've not taken any of that early control, so even the aggression that's come out from Kayak is not really going to tell them too much. Shock darts even being put through or being taken. Okay, if our Sova's on this side of the map, likelihood is that's where the push will be going. It does make me a little bit nervous that, at least for the moment, he was there alone with the spike, but the drone re-clearing, oh, this is wonderful. They've sold a double fake. They've moved back so that then when the drone goes through, of course, Fnatic are going to rotate another player back to the other side of the map. Still having 2 players here, though, and the drone contact will probably be a quick scurry back to the A site.
The decision then, when you see this utility come through from Alpha here, do you stick around, do you look for the fight, or do you simply back off? And it looks like he's made the right call! And Crashies, he didn't think he needed a fallback. He should have been safe inside the smoke, but he has been taken down. RRQ, I mean, Fnatic tried to deny RRQ the opening pick, and they still get it. That's a crazy unlucky fight for Fnatic.
Look at Alpha as well. He's 1 HP. Like, the spams have done so much damage to the side of Fnatic that getting back into the site is going to be a difficult one. They're still going for it. They're still trying to make that space. Kayak's actually won the opener. That's not a bad way to find themselves back into the round, but it's this late wraparound from Mumnya that could cause them problems. The fight on the site actually going the way of Fnatic and an old school cam and the spike is going to be a nasty surprise. It means once again they haven't been able to get on it. Have they heard Mumnya? No, they haven't, but he's going to be caught. A last second check from Chronicle gets the job done. It could have been a wonderful moment for Mumnya, but instead he is caught.
Yeah, just great work connecting the dots in the end for Chronicle. Not sure who made that call, but with Omen being there in the early round, they realize he's been missing for a little bit too long. The drone sent up top, but it wasn't even the tag, it was just a wild spray through. Guesstimating Crashy's path out of there.
This is our map! We have a map! We have a map! Nice retakes, boys.
That was a big conversation on the desk, right, about how the previous eras of Fnatic have always had a home ground. I think the most prominent in my mind is always going to be Icebox back in the day. But they don't have that here.
I would say Lotus, but you know.
Lotus, I mean, it's more recent. It's not as niche. I like the aged one.
Well, already taking a casualty. For the weaponry, well, the only rifle that's had is going to be the upgrade. I said I wanted to see those stingers. Well, I've got it in map number 2. Shock dart out, but a single bullet onto any of these players would be certain demise. Even still, though, the time ticking. And that's already been a bit of a burden so far for Fnatic.
It's been a much better start for Monyet, and it looks like he'll have pressure on him again. Stun lined up and fired through. Here comes the flash. I'll be caught by it. Hunter's Fury, though, sent through as a response. Drop down is good for Boaster. He'll find the first. Monyet surrounded. Picks his fight from the corner. Boaster, though, putting the pressure on, and Monyet will be taken out by the Outlaw. Fnatic, they started this out on the back foot, but the lead is now theirs.
Yeah, they've looked better and better as the retakes have gone on. I think Boaster being able to bait the player in main, the Hunter's Fury, not quite having the impact that they would have desired. Even still, from a low buy, it's not bad, but it's the committal of the ults late that definitely makes me say that it's a bit more costly than you might think. You look at 5 stingers and you go, okay, that's fine, but the loss of the Hunter's Fury.
Listen to me, Jake, I'm trying to tell you something. I can't move, Alpha.
Oh, it worked anyway. 3-2. A retake after a retake after a retake for RRQ. They probably feel like the B site after it being half a second and a slightly missed shock dart might be the better of the two for them. They're heading there early.
Life is broken. Jemkin, though, already in, taking the space, but Kayak's there to punish. We've seen this before. He just gets out. Happy with his opening pick, with the advantage claimed. The spike making it to backside. This is normally the aftershock goes down. This time they try to deny the close plant. The wraparound from Monyet catches them in that transition period, and it's a 4 versus 4. RRQ have a late flank coming in from Xfero as well, covering all their bases. There is still a trip covering it. These players on site could be under pressure. That ult's not quite going to hit Monyet up in heaven. Xfero and Monyet both finding theirs. And then now that flank putting so much pressure on. Fnatic need to be quick. They got to run forward. There's gaps in the play, and RRQ are exploiting them. 3-3 now, leveled back, and it seems difficult to separate these teams in the early stages of any map.
Yeah, no, I really like that every round we're seeing a variation of those late flanks coming through. Like, they haven't always been successful, but this fight for Xfero was everything. And I think Monyet and his positioning has been sublime. Like, he's the reason they win this round. He's able to get a little pick on the corner, and then maneuver up top outside of the ult and find another as they try and switch in. Because of that, they're slower to get the kill onto Cushy. Great round from him individually. That trip's taking a worryingly long time to set up. If they had swung that corner, that man is certainly dead, but hey, he got it done in the end.
Already you can see they've spotted Boaster, and they know with the knife popping that no one is on the site. Very quick to take the space.
Well, there's the trip.
Jemkin's landed himself up top, a different route than was planned for by that trapwire. Hunter's Fury active, but denied immediately. The ult from KO taking all the abilities, all the ultis away, and buying so much time. Fnatic will have to now wait. They've got so much util for the retake, but that clock is going to run low by the time they can use it.
Well, it has been running low every single time. Monya faking out the idea, and well, Cushy's just swung into them. He knew where they were. That's messy though. Both of them have somehow managed to find 3. This round was looking done, but it's left all onto Monya. He's been revealed. They know where he is, but he wants to take that fight, and he will not win it. Alfia onto the defuse again, and this time plenty on the clock to be able to get it over and done with. But I'm just looking at Boaster. What was the 3rd kill? Did that player get pinged and I didn't realize it? Because that looked so clean from him.
Yeah, I don't know. It's straight through the smoke. Even the second, he was lucky to survive. Shuv will catch it from his POV, but there were a lot of shots fired his way. It looked done. One through the smoke. Another player whips, and then the reveal is there to take Cushy. A good job that reveal went down just before Crashies went down.
Hello, bro. Moyet, hello. How you doing, brother? Hello, brother.
The last guy who waved at Monya had a bad day. Benji remembers.
Well, Alpha, he's clearly feeling confident down on that stage. Gonna have the Blade Storm activated for Jemkin. Deep play towards the A site for Fnatic. Early doors taking a lot of control. And RRQ hasten their pace as a response. Straight through mid. There's 2 players quite passive on this B site, ready for the fight. Crashies slowing down the players in mid, making a bit of an accordion effect. This is leaving more isolated battles. Alfia dies after just 1 though. With that utility down, the player covering the cross to site out of the round completely. They now have to focus in the late round and take a look at this play coming through. You've talked about the late round flanks. Well, Monya might have the best one yet.
He's low on HP, so he has to pick his moment. The rest of the team have been able to place themselves in the back of the site. Chronicle with a single kill might even be able to just rolling thunder them all off the map, but they are waiting. They don't want to overface, they don't want to get aggressive. They are giving the time for Monya to make potentially the play of the round. He's watching everybody. It's a little bit messy, but he'll still get the one. Not quite as much as he would have hoped for, but the rest of the players have still been just waiting patiently. Cushy again, swinging from the same angle. And this guy has been unstoppable from that spot. A 4th kill from him. And well, once again we find ourselves level. It's been the story of the match.
It really has a perfect storm of parity here on the server. But Cushy,
this is spot.
Every time you see him there in the post plant, he's able to deliver. And I'll tell you what, Alfia might be regretting his words now. You're gonna keep losing retakes. Well, not this time, says Cushy. 4-4.
Look at the economy as well.
Neck and neck, and this is where RRQ should be retaking their lead.
Oh yeah, but there would have to be some, well, crazy individual plays or mistakes. Most likely a bit of both. If they were to lose this round. Alfia has a lot of info in towards the A site. He's playing in mid, obviously trying to avoid any of the KO utility if it was thrown through. Of course, Cushy getting so many kills that he already has that null command back online. The support that Alpha has is just the jiggle peak of Chronicle. It definitely leaves him out to dry, but when you have a buy like this, you have to take risks.
Well, the thing is, you've heard the cam on A. You've heard the drone go through as well on RRQ, and obviously the response here from Crazy Guy was to drone it himself, make sure they haven't taken the space. Now they're starting to expect those rotations have come through. 4 players outside. Only Crashy's here to stop them, and it looks like they have done a remarkable job of avoiding this play early on. Now the thing is, that trap's still online. Alfia is far enough away to not get caught by the null command, but they will find it before they run on into it. Late flank being set up as well by Xfero. He goes down, that is a rifle gifted over, but Alpha is going to have to really tick all the boxes to clear him out. He saw the pistol, but now he certainly spotted him, but Alpha lands the shot. They want to be patient on Fnatic, but RRQ get ahead of it. They're playing aggressive, finding the double. A big advantage now.
Yeah, I think most of the danger is gone. Alfia with the rifle is the one piece of the puzzle, and well, nobody's going to find Crashies corpse, that's for sure. And for Alvier, it then gets to the point of like, okay, do you just hold on to the weapon? How much damage are you really hoping to do here? The answer is absolutely nothing. And Chronicle with no orbs needed to be gained. I think the only thing he can either hope for is a rifle or the taste of the spike.
5 on the board for RRQ, the lead reclaimed, but I think most of us are expecting the next to go to Fnatic. Not because of their comp or their economy or the way they're playing, just because of how this game's been.
Yeah.
Back and forth. Plenty of games of tennis here.
Yeah, I
really looks like another.
I want to give credit again to RRQ for how methodical they are in these moments. Like, even when they use the null command into the site, they're still checking for those trips. They know that that's one of the main dangers, is just a kill trip somewhere on the corner. They're checking and pinging for the cams. Like, they are not aggressive in the way they're doing things. They're smart with it. Very enjoyable team to watch. A set play, though, being thrown in for Fnatic. The util forced them back, but unfortunately for Kayak, there was nobody caught in the stun.
And RRQ don't just run to the other side of the map, knowing now that they're facing in to that rolling thunder. They'll still compete for the orb, but with 4 players here, it's going to be the exact same round minus the null command. They've lost one to Chronicle. That rolling thunder will be put through. It almost sent Munyet off the map, and instead it sent him into the waiting arms of Chronicle, but a 3v3, and again this mid-play. Alpha got the better of Xfero last time, but this time it's revenge for RRQ Cypher. The B site now open, as we can see. Oster getting his rifle out. It looked like a little late, but he'll end up equalizing things.
Okay, well, throughout this, Chronicle didn't move. I can understand why. You've seen a kill on the other side of the map. You kind of had the expectation that they go the other way. He's now started to claim some control. Perfect positioning, but it's a little bit labored. It's given an opportunity. Crazy Guy's been able to get out of the grab well. Because of that, he gets that early fight. And Bose has been wrapping around the backline, going all the way around the map to try and get in from behind. He does have Cosmic Divide available, but placing it while in the open would be a massive risk. He's just trying to make his way into the site, and Crazy Guy, well, it's been too long. He started to realize that he has to be coming in from behind. The tap on the spike reveals his opponent's position, but the clock is in his favor. Boaster, though, will just about be able to take it. He's been good in these late round scenarios, and who would have guessed it? 5-5 and another retake of sorts.
It was the Hunter's Fury online, though, for RRQ, for Crazy Guy in that moment. I think that's going to put so much pressure on Boaster. The fact that he goes for the tap, not trying to bait out the ultimate instead, trying to bait out the player. It was a great read that this guy would still be sticking around up close. That could have played out very badly for Fnatic, but instead, a further lead is denied. The IGL's on his feet. Boaster's having a good game so far as well. And at 5-5, both teams dumping their economy into this one. This round may well be a fight for the lead.
For RRQ
at halftime.
Gonna take some early space. It will be spotted. There we go. Just a little bit of patience. Jemkin still looking like he wants to challenge this. Maybe expecting a reaction. The A site split, not something we've seen too much of. It's a very tight angle to try and make your way through. That's why Crashies is just happy to try and hold this one. Dart up, stun, keeps them locked in, and well, the players attempting to make it through A main are kind of stuck until they get through this choke.
They have done a great job so far on the attacking side of dealing with Alfier's utility. It doesn't feel like he's getting a lot off those traps. Constantly being destroyed. Always caution on the push through. It will be the same again.
He's using this Fnatic to clear mid.
Fnatic group up here. 4 players moving into heaven, but RRQ want to take the fight to them. Boaster and Chronicle, though, good for the duel. In goes the Hunter's Fury. It's a narrow laneway. Doesn't land for more than the 1, though. 4 versus 3. Oh, Munyet! He's just delivered a double. Managed to find them, fall back, and then the trap on the other side reveals one of the last players, Boaster, the one that was unknown. Alpha will be caught by Crazy Guy in the 1v1. Back and forth as it went. It's RRQ for 6.
Yeah, Munyet's having a game. Every single time it seems like when he's in the right place, he delivers. That will be the lead. Pick back up. We mentioned it. That it was a close first half in the last map, and the pistol was what made the difference. It seems like it might end up being the case again. Of course, RRQ were the ones to take it in this one. Come on, just look at what is on the board for Fnatic in this round. This series for Kayak has definitely been a nightmare one. We've yet to really see him deliver on either the Yoru or the Waylay. And what is a fast-paced take once again for RRQ.
Jemkin looking to harvest souls, caught by the stun, yet he still survives. Kushi again, but it's Boaster with a double, breathing life into Fnatic. But in a 2v3, still on the back foot.
He loves the cam on the spike.
And it got down just in time. That shock dart landed just a little bit too late. And Crashies will have no more chance to play with the bow. Last man standing, Alfier. He's got a classic now.
Stinger at range.
But better than the classic, perhaps. Well, maybe not, actually. It depends. Certainly ended up with a better rifle.
That is what RRQ have been so good at. They're not going to give him a single fight. Just jiggle peeking, baiting him into taking awkward positions. He doesn't have anything to play with. The time against him. And look, even at the end, the cam will be what decides the round. Just making sure that there is no fight to be had. The half will be won by RRQ. And well, they stopped all those retakes from happening again and again after the last few rounds.
It was a razor's edge between triumph and tragedy in that first map. The pistol rounds ultimately cost RRQ the chance to be 1-0 up here. But they are not letting go of hope on map number 2.
Camera taken out.
A 7-5 scoreline, a strong performance from them across the board. Cushy stepping up to new heights, but I think you really look at the entirety of RRQ and say they have got a chance when we get to halftime, or half number 2 after the halftime break.
Et on a des fans de toutes les équipes ici en France, y compris RRQ. Hi Maxime, I'm glad to welcome a French RRQ fan here with me. And the first question I want to ask you is, how did you discover RRQ? What gave you, faith in them and want to follow them? Donc première question, c'est étonnant aussi d'avoir un fan de RRQ, une équipe qui vient de si loin. Qu'est-ce qui t'a donné envie de les suivre?
Je suis tombé dessus un peu par hasard quand j'étais en Corée du Sud. J'ai regardé un match, ils ont gagné. C'était preuve de résilience, c'était juste incroyable en termes de gameplay. Je suis rentré, j'ai acheté tous les billets pour le reste de la régulière saison 2023 et je suis allé à tous les matchs. C'est pas compliqué.
So it's a love story. Back in 2023, I started following them a bit randomly. I went to the arena in Seoul and I loved them. They had such a big resilience, so I bought all the tickets for their future matches back in 2023 and I never stopped following them. So that's beautiful dedication indeed. And this might be a tough question, but I want to ask you, what is the best region in the world? Are you going to go for EMEA, for Pacific? C'est quoi la meilleure région du monde?
Bon, certainement pas les Américains.
Ooh, definitely not the Americans.
On aurait tendance à dire EMEA, mais il y a quand même la meilleure équipe du monde au Pacifique et RRQ. Donc,
Pacifique?
Bah oui, bien sûr.
So yeah, maybe I would say EMEA, but I have to stick with my boys from RRQ here. And last question, who do you think will carry this Abyss maps on the side of RRQ? Qui va carrer cette carte pour RRQ?
J'aime beaucoup Xero et j'aime beaucoup Ewok aussi, c'est des pierres angulaires du projet et ils sont là depuis le début et je les supporte depuis le début et c'est sûr qu'ils vont faire quelque chose de grand, c'est sûr, c'est certain.
So yeah, I love Xfero, I love the coach too. I think they are really Stone Miles in that team, very, very strong player and coach. So I'm definitely rooting for them. Merci, Maxime. Thank you very much. And let's get back to the game.
Well, it's time to get back into the game very, very soon, where RRQ are now leading. I guess the pistol really does make the difference as we get into the Coinbase Econ report. And you can take a look at Boaster. A lot of talk in the desk about his performance throughout the regular season, but he has certainly stepped it up here today.
Yeah, no, he's definitely had his moments. I think especially on the defensive side, being able to get into those positions to basically get them back into the site that they'd lost, because every single round that they won was based off a defusal. The plant was going down, they were playing the retake. I think he's going to be pivotal in those post plants. I love seeing Astra on this map. Well, when I think of Astra, I think of him, I think of Boo. Having those post-plant gravity wells to buy you that little bit of extra time can make a massive amount of difference. The fact is, though, I'm going to be looking at this defensive side. I think they've had a great start to this map. But if they want to survive going into that lower bracket, they need to make sure that they close this one out.
Well, this is their best chance so far. The lead by 2. Pistol round from Fnatic. Half 2 of Ascent. It was a bloodbath to start it out. Cushy getting aggressive, and he's being tagged up. It's time to fall back. Same for Crazy Guy. Taking some scars early on, but yet to drop a player. Question is, do they have the read right? We see a lot of this defensive side flock towards the B side, and it certainly seems like for the moment that's where Fnatic want to take it. But I am seeing Boaster clearing a lot of space on A.
Oh, it's almost an early pick. Kayak eventually will find one, but he's traded out by Cushy. Again, he seems to love this B site. But with space being held, this was something that the old Fnatic on this map loved to do. They'd just leave Boaster in the spawn. Crashes, though, has been caught. Looking like maybe he wanted to try and get out of there. Instead, they're now walking into a site that I imagine they believe to be clear, but Xfaro definitely still waiting. And actually, he's in the perfect position. Now they try and split back through. They'll be able to deal with him, and in fact, Boaster's caught a couple. One of the remaining players incredibly low, but they need to get this plant in, and Boaster holding the line.
He's found himself 3 already, but he's the last healthy player. Alpha down to 25. That's Sheriff. A 6-chambered up against him, and it's Boaster to deliver his 4th of the round. A big play from the IGL. We just highlighted him, and for good reason.
Yeah, no, impressive stuff. And as said, like when you look back at their old composition where they had that double duelist, a lot of the time they would leave him behind as this hard lurk if he's setting up utility from afar and basically not allowing you to push across the map. This, though, was a different story. He completely took the A site on his own and then ended up clearing out the players as they went to rotate. A brilliant round from Boaster. And well, we mentioned the importance of the pistol rounds in the last map. They're even in this one.
Conversion here. Oh, Alpha under pressure. He has been taken down.
It's a lurk, though.
It's only classics from RRQ. Now they've managed to find themselves a Marshall. Alongside damage, that can be a very valuable weapon in a round like this. They will be forced into the retake. Is the plant secured on this A site? And the question for Fnatic is, how do you want to play this? Especially with the range advantage going back towards mains. Not a bad idea, but conscious of Monyet being able to just smoke them off. They want to stay a little bit aggressive, keep some control.
Nice
the Kama spotted them. They know exactly where to fight. RRQ have all the info. They're putting the pieces together, and it's Fnatic coming crumbling down. That late cam from Xfaro has given them a chance, but he can't convert. It's Boaster to save the round with the Red Bull clutch.
I'm not sure that's the way they really wanted to win the round, but maybe for him that's a nice little confidence boost. Not that it seems like he needs it. A safe pair of hands in the late run was what I said, but I was talking about his utility, not so much just the raw individual aim. Well, that was incredibly messy. The aggressive positions helping out the flash of Cushy that did so much work to get them back into spot. But then just winning those fights with the classics, that's a dangerous spot to be from, and by the looks of it, Fnatic have invested quite heavily back into this one. They might leave themselves in a bit of trouble next round.
We'll see how the economy's settled. This player starts to fall.
Oh,
hey! He's got one up top. That's another rifle. This is a full body now! Kayak is double connected, and he's hungry for more. Blood in the water, and he's swimming straight towards Xfaro. Just about manages to survive that engagement. The Cypher healthy towards the spawn, but a 5 versus 3. That investment for Fnatic paying off.
But that was the man we wanted to see. He's been missing throughout the majority of this series. Cushy trying to take space back through. This is not going to be easy. Maybe it is. There's a gap. A spot for him to take a fight. But look how passive the remaining players are. Cushy's found another. Making this one interesting for sure. They've dodged themselves that knife, and now already that time being forced, and Boaster and Chronicle combined, holding the line. The man next to him is meant to be the superstar, but Boaster is stealing the day.
Popping and locking it down there on the stage. Didn't see the same reaction from Chronicle, but I think he's still pretty happy to take this round. And you see the idea there from RRQ. As soon as they tap the spike, they know the knife didn't hit anyone. They have a grab well. We need to push. And they just weren't expecting there to be...
I'm turning into a monster!
Oh my god, Jake.
He's going to have a duet with Rihanna soon.
Imagine being the guy on the other side of the stage. That is literally like a parent embarrassing their child, which is funny because Boaster's parents are in the crowd.
Yeah, and I think Kayak looked like the embarrassed child there as well. Yeah.
Exactly.
8-7, and a timeout from the defensive side of RRQ. They need a moment to gather themselves after what they've just witnessed across the stage, and I don't blame them.
Wow, yeah, it's looking like after Angels retired, Boaster's just absorbed all of that extra Unk energy and is just taken over. 19-7. This has definitely been his map. The scoreline definitely still not out of the realms of possibility. There's only a singular round between them at this point, but that was a bonus round where in the prior, only a single player had survived, and that was Boaster. And even with some heroics from Cushy, he's been having a great game overall. Sure they can start to feel this game slipping away from them, and as we've already witnessed, there's been plenty of upsets, plenty of teams falling into the lower bracket. With Billy, China #1, currently sat down there. I don't think RRQ want to join them.
I think especially going down like this, I mean, look, it's still a very tight game, but now they've got pistols. You should be looking at a 9-7 scoreline. And, you know, if Chronicle's the one digging your grave, well, hey, listen, plenty of people have fallen into that pit hole. Alpha, up for contest as best player in the world at one point in Kayak, the guy coming up from the Tier 2. Looking remarkable, the young gun, but you're getting diffed by Boaster. That's something that I think you know what I'm
saying. He's a young man.
He is, yeah. And as the desk was highlighting, his stage 2 performance was lacking a little bit individually, but we've seen that. The guy's got a lot of responsibilities. Right now, it seems like he's the brains and the brawn down on that stage.
Kayak taking the space once again. Spam not quite finding anything. Of course, there's not a whole lot to play with in this round, so it might be a chance for him to farm. He already has ult online, but I think the confidence far more valuable for Fnatic at this stage. The duelist trying to get their way back into the game, and that's exactly what's happening in this one. A clean-up with only 2 standing and plenty of utility denying anybody swinging that planter. For the remaining players, can they do any damage? That's not a bad start, but Alfia quick to respond. An easy round for Fnatic.
And you look at Fnatic there, they do give RRQ a lot of opportunities. A bunch of individual fights taken, swinging into Sheriffs, it's risky, but for RRQ, they're not getting the shots off, and that's a problem. Because now you start to talk about confidence on one side for Kayak, building that is huge, but you go into a round like that, you see, we had the chance. They're disrespecting us now. They're starting to just run it down at us. They need to see a bounce back pretty soon. This is 4 in a row now on the attack side, but a 4-0 start, we've seen it many times. Many times we've seen that team end with 4 or 5 rounds in the half. This is RRQ's chance to prove that it was just a hiccup, an early half upset.
The big thing for me is the operator. When that came into play on the defensive side of Ascent, it was a massive game changer. That's where Jimkin really did the damage. The problem thus far, and a problem that, again, I still remember back to the beginning of the season where Fnatic played, I think it was versus Gentlemates. They loved the A-site takes. Seems like they've developed a taste for B, and that's where Jimkin will be waiting for them.
That's the still water that stagnates. It's time to switch it up. Fnatic straight to the B site. The op shot not landed, and quite a bit of damage done in return. Next Pharaoh falls. Utility now. Those trap plays no longer there to work with, and Alpha gets the info on the back of it. Oh, crazy guy trying for the punish. He finds himself falling. A 5v3, that off needs to start delivering, but the opportunities are few and far between with trades lightning fast for Fnatic. Double digits acquired, and they are on the path to success.
Yeah, this is starting to look pretty damning for RRQ. The attack side looking stellar from Fnatic. It started with clutches, it started with individual brilliance, but now it's starting to become all but dominant. Easy openers, and even the null command was committed in that round by Cushy. That was one of the few ults that they had available to them. A panic pause taken from the side of RRQ, a chance for Ewok to try and come up with big changes, because these last 5 rounds, they started fairly close, but that one really wasn't.
Well, indeed, and we already saw that pause called earlier by RRQ. That course correction did not come into play, and now they're starting to drift out of this game. From a 13-10 in the previous, but they lost both pistols, and you start to see those sparks of hope when they win the pistol here, when they leave half one 7-5, but now it has been 5 in a row, like you say, 7-10.
Yeah.
Fnatic with that big lead, the momentum, the IGL delivering, whether it's in clutches, whether it's in opening tools, the guy's been there every time.
Yeah, it's worth noting as well that a victory here, of course, the next matches will be that upper bracket, but of course there is a day break tomorrow, a dark day from the broadcast that will give everybody a little bit of extra time to prepare. So for RRQ, it's starting to look like they may need that extra time, as this defensive side of the map they chose, bear in mind, not looking good at all.
Let's see if things change in the next round. Here it's Sheriff's. Individual's going to be relied upon. The cam already spots Jemkin. The door has to be broken open, and as he fades away, Munyet fades out of the round, trying to cover his teammate. 4 Sheriffs now left in play, and for Fnatic, grouping and hitting a site, it's the right call. It's what you want to see happen from our perspective, and you can see they've made that call.
Yeah, the worry as well is, like, the next buy, round number 19, potential for every single ultimate bar, maybe the Neural Theft, to be online for Fnatic. Like, they haven't had to use anything. The Neural Theft was used in the last round, but if they're clever here with like hoop plants, well, there you go, there's one, that's Chronicle's ult. Maybe they send Crashies out to try and hunt, although he's always there to just sit passive with the shot darts and the recons. But it leaves things in such a terrifying spot. At least the ults will also be there for RRQ, even if it's just via deaths.
Well, Kayak, he's in a lot of trouble. He looked to be in a lot of trouble, in fact. He'll take down 2 before he falls. The ults online for Fnatic in the next are looking deadly for RRQ. No need to give them even more, especially with Crashies 2 away from that Hunter's Fury. Going down to the spike is the correct play, but now back against the wall. It's been 6 straight rounds for Fnatic. A pause just called in the previous by RRQ. This is what they will have talked about. The rifle round has to be theirs.
Yeah, but again, you're going to have to break through all of those ultimates, and sure, they have some of their own, but...
Munyet! Hello, Munyet! Look at me again! Hello! Look at me again, bro! Oh, he's not. He gets scared.
He also has headphones on.
It would be worrying if he looked over.
I don't think he can hear you, but I appreciate the effort. Althea clearly feeling it. Well, this time, Munyet's revenge hasn't really looked like it's taken its toll. 4 rounds ahead, 6 in a row, and high impact ultimates on board. Fnatic, though, are taking mid control. There's been a challenge in the last couple, but the success hasn't been there. Cushy's been one of the few glimmers of hope in this map, and Boaster's just walking it down on his own.
Well, that is a deep play. The Rolling Thunder catching it for the mid-split. The next Pharaoh able to survive inside his cage, at least for now. Hunter's Fury not finding its mark. Pressure applied as Jemkin rotates, cut off. Boaster in there with a 3rd kill of the round. This guy's off to a flying start, and it looks like soon to be a finish. for the attacking side. A fourth denied, but Chronicles there for the trade. 12-7. One more needed for Fnatic, and after the pause, nothing's changed for RRQ.
The thing I love about that is that's when Fnatic decide to throw in a set play. That's where you have the Rolling Thunder that forces the players. We've seen them play on this close B-box so many times, so Rolling Thunder forces them in, and that's why Boaster is running it down mid, because if he knows if he gets in behind them here, they're going to be stunned up and being blown in towards him because they're so worried of the players coming in front. That is a gorgeous set play from the side of Fnatic. And while we spoke about the fact that this needed to be the resurgence, there looks like there is no resurgence to be had. This attack side from Fnatic has been flawless.
Not a bump on the road so far. Remember, this is RRQ's pick, and the conversation that's been going around about Fnatic being in the weakest state in terms of their map pool so far, well, we might have to reconsider. Ascent was close. In the second half of Abyss, it has been anything but. They were 7-5 down. And now just one round away from victory. 5 chances to do it. Kayak's deep dive. They see the cage. Oh, what a shot on the Jemkin. The first of what could be many to fall. Ult clearing right, but Xfero still alive, but now they know it. They know exactly where he is.
He's got both trips just blocking off this right-hand side. They're yet to be broken. They now will be, or at least the first one. If anybody's jumping across, Boaster could go flying off the map, but it may not even matter in the end. Only 2 standing. Make that just 1. Crazy guy needs a crazy finish, and he will not live to tell the tale. Perfection for Fnatic on that attack side. Not a single round dropped. And while for a map choice of RRQ, they're left with egg on their face.
Fnatic off to a hot start here at Champions, and it will be RRQ in their Champs debut, whose flesh serves as their kindling. Boaster reaching new heights on that stage as well. You can see all those times in the past that they've stepped on the Champions stage but never touched the trophy. Well, they are here with one goal in mind this time. Unfortunately, it was RRQ who had to face off against them first, now down to the lower bracket.
Yeah, the fun thing as well is that this now sets Fnatic on a path to face off against Aspas once again. We're running it back, so that should be a very exciting upper bracket matchup. And honestly, the display, at least in that second half, is the level that we expect to see of a powerhouse like Fnatic, a team that has been at every single Champions. This is hopefully just the start of what will be a long run for them. Sorry, what?
All right. Yeah, Scud's not a fan of that one. The little head shake.
Very confused.
Not having that.
I feel like we've just caught the end of whatever was going on there, and I don't know what we have just seen.
That's got to be a first on the champion stage.
You know what? At least his parents aren't in the crowd.
Dropping trowel in front of the parents. All right, we love to see it. Fair play. Boaster always a man to give us a surprise. Well, it's time to throw it down to the stage where there is an interview with Chronicle standing by. Let's give this over to Lou
Le
for the
joueur le
Horizon
plus
post-match
titré de l'histoire de Valorant vient chercher sa première win à Paris avec Fnatic. Tim, do you have time for me for a quick interview? Can I bother you for a second, Chronicle? Of course, congratulations, first of all, for this huge victory against RRQ. And you are indeed a very big pride for EMEA, one of the best flex players in the world. We've seen some Vi, some Bridge, some Viper, but deep down, what's your favorite agent to play?
Harbor?
Harbor! We never...
I'm just joking, not Harbor. Harbor.
Give me a serious answer.
Sova, 100%.
Actually, Sova, ok, donc première question, c'est l'un des meilleurs flex du monde, une fierté de l'IMEA. On a vu de la Vice, de la Viper, du Bridge, il peut tout jouer, mais c'est quoi en vrai son pick préféré? Il nous dit Arbor pour troll évidemment, mais en réalité, Sova. And the second question I wanted to ask you is that on stage it seemed like you guys were having fun back like in 2023, you know, that fiber, that child spirit that was coming back. So what happened, you know, during those 2 weeks? How come do we see you in such a shape today?
I don't know, Jake was popping off crazy with some emotions, I think. One round we actually had to shoot him down because he couldn't get a gun. Like after he was like, yeah, we won! like started screaming, but he forgot about the taking gun. I was like, God bless, he took it. But I mean, our emotions are crazy right now. I think everyone's excited to play champions since obviously for everyone is a big target, big goal, and yeah, it feels great to come back on stage again.
Yeah, I think at some point he could even have forgotten to defuse, you know, given how excited he was, but this didn't happen indeed. Donc comment est-ce que ça s'est passé pour vous? Vous êtes de retour, on voit des âmes d'enfants sur le serveur. Et ben il nous dit Boaster aujourd'hui à Hard Carry, il a été insane, il s'est levé, il célébrait, il a même oublié de ramasser une arme à un moment donné, donc on a dû essayer de le calmer un petit peu, mais voilà, on est trop content d'avoir gagné. And last question, I know that you're a team player, I know that you like giving props to other players, so apart from your teammates, who do you see having the potential to be the best player of the tournament?
Best player of all time.
Of the tournament in Champs Paris?
In my team.
No, outside of your team.
Oh, that's tough.
Who do we think? Do we go Pacific? Do we go local, EMEA?
I'll just say Pacific, just straight of, just to jinx them a little bit, you know?
Just the region, right? The region as a whole has the potential. Donc, qui pour toi, à part tes teammates, a le potentiel d'être le meilleur joueur du tournoi? Bah, tout simplement, la région Pacifique. Ça sera la réponse de Chronicle. Thank you so much. Merci, Chronicle. Congratulations again. That's it for us on stage. Let's toss it back to the analyst desk for some more discussions.
First of all, shout out to the Cal Paolo cosplay. I don't know if you spotted that in the background, but that was kind of sick. Second of all, Pacific are not flawless after the first 4 days. I think that's kind of an upset.
They had me believing after that first map, even though they lost. I thought it was really impressive that RRQ on their worst map that they're playing were able to keep it so close against Fnatic with Chronicle in prime form. And then they go into Abyss, their map pick. They played it once this year. It was a loss. I was hoping for so much more, but I don't think their game plan on attack really had the depth. I think they were too reliant on a lot of those late round flanks that just weren't paying off. They weren't synced up with the rest of the unit, and Fnatic were just having consistent, excellent retakes, kind of exploiting even that like lack of one player. Obviously, Boaster had an amazing game. Got so many kills in the retakes. I mean, because if you were watching, well, I mean, if you have eyes and were watching, if you went into it, maybe you would not be thinking that he would be dropping 25 for like one death. But
my eyes are set on this man joining us, Alpha Jer.
What's going on, bro?
Come join us. Put your headset on. Chill. Holy moly, Alpha. You look great in that couch. Kind of matches the Fnatic colors. First of all, congratulations. Second of all, how did you, like, what have you guys been doing that managed to make you and Boaster body swap? Like, how was he playing on your PC and you were playing on his PC? What happened?
To be honest, I think he has a really good girlfriend who motivates him. Who motivates him? I have no idea actually, but thank God he was shooting today.
Yeah, has he been shooting in scrims?
Yeah, I think he's been good on until we came here. He's been working hard and it's showing the progress. I mean, you can see it.
Did y'all think that Abyss would be in this pool? Like that was a strong possibility they could pick it?
It had like two options. They were gonna pick either Haven or Abyss, and they pick Abyss. We were ready for it, so that's fine.
Where do you feel like Abyss is ranking in your map pool right now? Because that was obviously a big question mark. Like y'all were not always the best on it before end of 2024 into 2025.
Also tagging on that, is it a nerf? Do you feel, because we've been saying it kind of nerfs you that you have to play Abyss over Icebox. Is it enough?
I think every map who just out from the map pool is nerf for us because we were good with every map. They just remove the maps we were good at it, like Split, Fracture. They just remove all the maps we are good at it, but it's fine. We are good also Abyss team, so I don't have any worries.
We do have some Boaster stat. I don't know if you saw what he ended up on. It's a little bit silly, isn't it, Alpha? That's like, that's your kind of numbers.
Yeah, no, I just sat down from my PC and I look at crashes. I said this guy is 300 AC. And Boaster has like one thing. He always plays good against Chinese team. You can see like my comms videos as well. I said, bro, they are not Chinese. Chill out. They are not Chinese team. Chill. I said, and I was like, he was laughing at me. So I was impressed.
That's very funny. Coming into this game against RRQ, what did you guys feel were the most important things as far as their play style that you had to watch out for, maybe adapt to?
I mean, RRQ is gonna be a bit ego, but I don't think he's hard to play against because we played against them on Toronto and they didn't ban us Sen on Toronto and they lost. And they did the same disrespect today as well. They didn't ban us Sen. They also lost again. I think these guys are not learning from their mistakes. I think they need to start learning from mistakes.
Oh, that's big words, but I think you're right because it's also, if we take a look at the comps you ran today as well, the last time you played when they let us send through, you brought out a sick comp with you on Chamber, and then this time around, you bring out your comp again against them they have to deal with, but this is the Paper Rex comp. Alpha, I never thought I would see you on Sage. Do you like it? Is this your choice? You know, where does this Sage come from?
I think Sage is pretty cool. After she get buff, she's really strong right now. And I'm playing better Sage actually.
It's
I
great,
mean, if you check scoreboard, probably I have like 0 plant or something. I just didn't even go side. I was playing like a Chamber Sage. You have heal and res, which Chamber doesn't have, so it's still safe.
Is this a comp that you guys wanted to switch to pretty much straight after the EMEA playoffs were over, or did it take a bit of time?
No, I think we just tried like 5 different comp, and we just ended up playing this comp because I think this comp is like more suits us as a team. So yeah, we ended up with this comp.
Was there ever a world on Abyss, because everyone's playing Waylay Yoru, every region is running it. Was there ever a world where we get maybe like Kayak Yoru, you on Waylay? Did you try that at all on Abyss?
I mean, we didn't try yet, which I think if we try, it's gonna be good.
Yeah, me too. I think so too.
I mean, maybe not for now, but maybe for final or something, we can just do a little bit changes to make them spread or something.
When you get a little bit of break, right? When you have more time to prep. Has that been an issue at all for you guys? Because we hear you guys talk about, you know, you want to break. You're always playing. You're suffering from success a little bit. Do you feel refreshed? Have you had a nice break?
Yeah, we had a nice break after EMEA. I'm happy that we lost actually against Giants and BBL because we had a little break which helped me and which helped the team a lot. I think, yeah, we just refreshed. We are more motivated than every tournament. We are like more ready than every tournament right now. And from my perspective, I also enjoy playing Valorant, and I can see the players also enjoy playing Valorant, which I didn't see normally the last 2 years. It's great to see actually. I'm going to Prague room, everyone is playing game because after their little break, they refresh and they want to play the game a lot. So it's really nice right now.
Did you feel like the fatigue in Stage 2 was the biggest issue that you guys had, or were there some other things as well that you wanted to focus on heading into Champions?
Yeah, I mean, we had only one mistake. I mean, we had one little thing. We were struggling a bit. Every map, we had the same comp and same strategy because we didn't have a time to change anything on VCT EMEA. That's why I'm saying that I'm happy that we lost early so we could change stuff.
Yeah, change comps.
And that's why like we came here. Before we came here, we just like had a good time to change everything. And we had also time here as well. So everything is fresh right now. Other maps as well. So it's nice.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm happy to see you happy. And of course, you talk about people who like playing the games. I don't want to put Chronicle on blast, but I heard that in the Pro City, in the EMEA version of the Pro City, he was suffering a little bit. Because everybody first picks him. Because you get Chronicle in the lobby, they're like, I'll take Chron. So he was sort of, his win rate wasn't the highest. Is that true?
Yeah, it is true. I think he had like 115 or something, 1 win, 15 lose or something.
Are you playing in the server as well?
Yeah, I played a lot. I mean, I played 10 games, but I won like 9 of them or something.
Oh. Are there any players from outside of EMEA that you got to play with you don't normally play with?
Outside of, yeah, I think I mean, you can see every different style. Like, I'm playing with T1 players, Energy players also playing. Like, a lot of teams are playing, and you can see their style and their perspective to the game is really nice. You can, because you live and learn, and you can learn something from your opponents as well. And I think it helps, yeah.
I think maybe Chron was like, the loss rate got to him, so he came today and he was like, I'm settling a share.
Yeah, were RRQ in Pro City? Were any of those players in there?
Oh, I think I saw Crazy Guy in it. I'm pretty
maybe
sure
Crazy Guy.
Yeah.
It's one of those 15 losses that he took.
Monyet also playing.
Yeah,
I
saw
it's
Monyet too.
Yeah, Revenge Arc for sure.
Yeah,
Have
sorry.
any of the MIBR guys been in there?
Great question.
No, I actually didn't see any MIBR. But they played.
They've been here for a few weeks. They've been grinding as far as I know. Yeah, did you get to watch them at all today? They went crazy.
I didn't expect that's coming, to be honest. I thought Bilibili is gonna 2-0, but MIBR showed really good game, which I didn't actually expect.
That was insane. How are you feeling going up against them in the future?
I'm pretty happy because Brazilian Aspas fans, I also said that in interview as well before, they were flaming me because my name is on Twitter is Paris Final Boss. And they think I'm an Aspas fan. They're just flaming me on Twitter, which I can literally show why I'm Paris Final Boss, not Aspas in our next game.
Yeah.
Whoa! Wait, hold on a minute. When was the last time you played against Aspas? Do you remember?
It was 2023 looking.
Yeah. No, it wasn't.
Champions.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, what happened?
We lost.
Yeah. So you got a bit of fire in you. You know, you got to get that revenge.
I don't have any fire, to be honest, because I like Aspas a lot. He's my really, really good friend. So when I play against my close friends, I don't get fired that much, to be honest.
I'm sure Boaster will after today. I don't know what was going on. But also very quickly tomorrow, the next time we see you guys, we've got Paper X versus GX and DRX versus NRG. Very quick predictions, Alpha. Give it to me. Paper X, GX first.
GX.
Oh, why?
Because I think Paper X game style, GX game style and Paper X game style, I think is same. Like if Paper X is going as somewhere as 5, Giants will be there as 5. So
analysis. DRX versus NRG.
NRG.
Why I love that.
I do. I like NRG a lot.
I know.
I'm a big fan of the team right now. I like where they're at.
Any more questions for Alpha before we get kicked out of the venue?
No, I'm all good. I feel like, I don't know, I can see security approaching us. I feel like it's our time.
No, don't worry, Alpha.
We're out of here.
You guys get behind me. Get behind me. But thank you very much, Alpha, for joining us. Congratulations. Thank you, Wire, for today as well. Thank you for you guys for watching us in the last 4 days. We're going to take a wee bit of a break tomorrow. Catacombs? We going Catacombs?
Yeah, I went yesterday, actually.
You went already?
Yeah.
Okay, they went to the Catacombs already. We're going to go there tomorrow. But for now, have a lovely day off. You guys are home tomorrow. But make sure to come back the day after and join us for more Valorant Champions action. Have a lovely evening, and we'll see you then. It's VCTCN's #1 seed versus the team that very nearly did not even make it to chance.
2 kills found, but MIBR punch back. Time dwindling away. The shot just a bit off the mark as Verno repositions, looks to take the fight into Levius' lap and does. A 1v1, and Verno delivers for MIBR. MIBR with the double smokes. Now another fight into long, but this one even between the 2 squads. Hold on, what is going on? Body block, Neff falls. Aspas left to fight. Will find his one. And one more waiting on the other side. Dashes back, throws it in reverse, and gets another for MIBR. Flawless to close out map 1. BLG's map pick. The Hunter's Fury through, and this time it finds Verno. Artscene falls. Aspas swings into his death. Cortesia waiting for the first challenge, waiting for it to arrive. Crawling on his skin. Shannon falls. Cortesia left alone. A 1v3. YZ gets 4. As BLG will get the 7. I'd argue 4. I mean, Artscene wasn't there. It's hello of the set. Oh! It's beautiful. Aspas gets 3. Waylay believers rejoice. Aspas gets 4. We'll see if he can find it. They know where he is. The king returns to the international stage and does it with it. Denying entry onto the site. Cortesia trying to move into the save, but Aspas gets 2 with the out. Verno gets another. And now the pop. Artscene paves the way. K-Knight left in a 1v3, and he will fall. They might be fit for a glass slipper after all. MIBR shock the world and take down BLG.
We have seen this matchup once already this year, this time coming onto the champion stage.
They also a lot of pressure put on the Chronicle! Was that a triple wallback? That's unbelievable! They're all trying to give the opportunity for this man to get the ace, and he will get it!
Maybe gives them a little bit of extra space. The problem, though, is Crashy's already gone down in response.
They also need a pick, and that's what Jemkin gives them. Cushy following up as well. The Thorns to the back, but they don't get activated, and Cushy continues to deliver on the backside. Poster landing 1, leaves Cushy alone. But it's a 1v1, and with Poster so desperately low, and the clock draining, it's Cushy to find all 5.
Alfia not really willing to risk it, but eventually jumps through, but doesn't realize maybe there's somebody on the other side. They will now, and even gonna trade it out.
The TP used as bait. Monye to try and keep them in the map, and he cannot do it. Alfia standing once again. Eventually, Fnatic, they got the job done.
4 versus 3. Oh, Monye! He's just delivered a double, and then the trap on the other side reveals one of the last players, Boaster, the one that was unknown. Alpha will be caught by Crazy Guy in the 1v1. Know exactly where to fight. RRQ have all the info. They're putting the pieces together, and it's Fnatic coming crumbling down. That late cam from Xfero has given him a chance, but he can't convert. It's Boaster.
A 5v3, that off needs to start delivering, but the opportunities are few and far between with trades lightning fast for Fnatic.
Perfection for Fnatic on that attack side. Not a single round drop. And well, for a map choice of RRQ, they're left with egg on their face.